All right. Hello, everybody. This is Rosyla Streaming Network. I am the hostess of the channel, Ashley LGR. I hope you all had a good day today so far. It is early afternoon. It's about 2 o'clock almost. 1:50 p.m. local time, I guess you could say. And we are going to do some Endwalker content. Starting right from scratch from the Endwalker beginning. The only thing is that like the intro, the part that you do in Mordona, I sort of did it, and the thing was not streaming. I swear to God, I thought I pushed the stream button, but it didn't go. So that will probably be edited in later if I can get that cutscene at a later time. For now, though, once I realized that was happening, I of course stopped it, and because I wanted to share everything with you guys. So we are going to do it. Give me about 5 more minutes to complete the setup, and we'll get started shortly here. First things first, we need the pop-out chat. And now I need to make sure that this thing is seeing it. So, come on. Alright, you're not seeing it. So the pop-out chat is active. Come on. There you are. Now it's seeing it. Boop. There we go. It's a little big. So we gotta kind of narrow it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Alright, that should do it. Hopefully people can still see the chat. I know the crystal is kind of faded into the camera, but I actually like it that way because gives my overlay that kind of Final Fantasy XIV feel. Now I'm just gonna make sure that this is up and working, which is good. Good. Alright, you're going, so that's good. And let's see here. Making sure I'm gonna turn off my FC chat because that doesn't need to be on. I don't mind everything else, I don't think. And yeah, the crossworlds and link shells are also turned off, so this is so I don't get bothered. I don't like being bugged when I'm live streaming, even if it is important. Now we are just going to get the link. I'm going to sorry, you kind of heard me double take there. Alright. Here we go. Now that that is live. I'm just gonna post it on a couple of websites here. Let's see here. Of course. There. And we will post it. So that should be good. All right. Now I just need to make sure that it is ready to go. Just give me one more minute. We are almost ready to begin officially. There we go. And turning my phone down because I don't like getting phone messages when I'm live streaming. Alright. We're ready to fly here, you guys. Let's hope that the chat keeps updating as it goes along. The other day it didn't do that, and I had to like fiddle around with it as to why it wasn't doing so. So as I said earlier, the very intro portion was I thought I pressed the live stream button, but I didn't. So we are have to kind of do it again. Everyone's here, which is good, because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Sharlayan should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. And here we go. And because they are voice acting, I will let you guys enjoy the cutscene. I'm pretty sure they're voice acting.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule. Or so I'm told.
Very good. We're good to go.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
So excited.
It's funny. Master Louis came here on a ship very much like this one.
Yeah, and then all the crap happened.
And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Goodness.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief.
It's been many years.
Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
No, you don't. He was a completely different person in 1.0. Completely
Will this
different.
be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Oh dear. Maybe he doesn't like boats.
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
Yeah, okay there.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company,
Indeed.
or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
Oh! No.
You've made your point, Estinian.
No.
Painfully well.
No. Don't do that.
Better.
I don't think I can handle that all expansion long. Poor Tataru.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland.
Oh, come on. You're coming too, I think. Right?
It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world.
Oh, that's what she's doing. She's despairing.
And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
Oh no, we're not bringing you with us? No, but she has right to worry, but... here we go.
Well, that's hardly comforting.
Poor girl.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
Just so you all know, the chat is working.
Set the sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
Alright, we are on our way. Looking very, very forward to this.
It's time.
Yes, it is. Let's go.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
Why can't we just take her with us one of these days? Like, she always stays behind. We could fit her in a backpack. It's not hard. Like, she is Yoda-sized. We can totally put her in a backpack, and like I'll just like carry her on my back as I go on adventures. There we are.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown.
Hey, I'm at Sunswice.
A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux.
Where do you go?
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Oh, here we go! interesting way to...
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
The ethereal sea, I bet he's talking about. I love this map. Oh, are we ever traveling? It's really loading something. Something's going on. We'll be patient. This kind of reminds me of 1.0.
Here. Feel. Think.
Oh, she's talking to me again. It's been forever.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow early riser.
They did.
Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
They don't even have beds for us? What?
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
Yeah, but they didn't even give us a bed. Like, what in the... Oh, I love the shading. Yeah, the doors are all open. I knew it! That's the reason why she's here at her. She's on the boat! Oh, there she is.
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad.
It's Mommy Crystal!
Hear, feel, think.
It's you! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
And thus do we meet face to face at last.
Oh!
My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Oh, she is beautiful. Oh, goodness. I'm definitely not doing that one because I have always believed in Hydaelyn. Always. Even when, like, people on Reddit and the forums were all saying she is evil, she's got some kind of, like, dark master plan and all kinds of crazy theories like that. I shunned them. And I was like, no, I believe she's doing something. She's doing something that is right and righteous in whatever cause she's trying to do. She's trying to keep us alive. And she's trying to guide us to something. So I always believed in Hydaelyn. Always did. Yes, why now?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer.
I have half an answer.
You have gained an understanding of what I truly am. What Eidolon has always been. A primal.
So you are one?
Zodiark was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world. And I was brought forth to bind him.
Yeah, but...
Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish.
Yeah.
The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield.
She's losing.
Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Promise, huh?
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
Oh, I will explore every bit of it.
We shall meet again, and soon.
So she's speaking of time in like total flux. Probably because I stopped the 8th Umbral Calamity, which was supposed to happen. And because we knew about it and we actively stopped it, we must have really messed time up. That's my understanding anyway.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Head whispers on. I need to turn my tells off. People are messaging me up.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Yeah, if you call Sharlayan good.
Oh, I see it.
Sharlayan's been not very helpful lately. I should say ever.
Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you? Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper.
Yeah. That's all we need. Bunch of Sharlayans chasing
There is
us.
no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
That's all we need is to be chased off the island, though. Like, we get into big trouble, and they, like, send their, what the hell do they call them? What do they call their investigators? I remember hearing something about it. And then they, like, send their investigators, and then they, like, shackle us half to death. There we are! We're there! Here we are, you guys! It's happening! We are in Endwalker. Officially. I'm gonna have to do some reading now, I bet ya. Because this is probably not...
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas.
Yeah, about that.
Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets.
Yep.
Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil.
They were gone.
So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
Ha!
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next, then? Entry applications?
Oh dear God.
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
Yeah.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge.
Yeah, true.
If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
We got you, Estinian.
May.
We got you. We got you, brother.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions.
Yeah, that won't go well.
Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Indeed we shall. Oh boy. Present yourself wrong, see yourself back on the boat.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Oh dear God.
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
Ah.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Uh-oh.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today.
Well, at least we have all our ducks in a row.
And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
Oh, you are etched in the book.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
Oh, God. Super security.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Oh, dear.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Oh, dear goodness.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that,
Uh-oh.
the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Uh-oh! I knew it! That frickin' man!
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
Oh boy.
We shall keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That didn't go over
These
too
last two
well.
are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
She's just...
Name and occupation?
Oh... Which one do I choose? Venture by trade. Let's do it!
And it is a title well earned, I can assure you.
An adventurer by trade is what your documentation
indicates.
No mention of this particular title. Self-appointed, I take it? Either way, your employer seems willing to vouch for your character, so I shall, albeit reluctantly, grant you entry. Champion. And you, sir?
I love it.
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
At least he's truthful too.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Oh, dear God. Oh, no! Oh, no! Crowd to the rescue!
If you'll allow me...
Oh, I love it.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Oh...
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
Oh dear. We're being told.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Oh my God, super strict. God, I hate this city. Politically, that is.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Yes, it is.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we?
Indeed. Let's go.
Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Good stuff. Here we go, everybody. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Yeah, they didn't even put us in a bed. Like, we had to sleep on the floor. That's just ridiculous. Next ship to sail has been completed. Alright, here we are for quest number 2. Old Sharlayan, new to you. Oh, more voiceover. Oh, maybe not. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Chronosphere and Estinian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that is long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome in the lovelier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, our quick tour of our old haunts might something. The annex was west of the 8th Right Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we will see you there. Ha! I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith by thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. Yeah, I didn't think so. That won't be necessary until we reconvene. I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. He's just gonna go around bumming about. But I could... Oh. Well, Ra, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this could be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Corona, sir. Sharlayan awaits. And thy quest hath been accepted. After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow your lead. Gratia is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Interesting. In the event that you use the Aethernet, Gratia will catch up to you so long as you remain in the same area. You can leave Gratia behind, however, by entering a different area. You may also speak to him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Gratia accompany you again, return and speak with them at the original location. While Gratia is accompanying you, next try speaking with Kryle. Alright then. All set, let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Kryle is also now accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the Last Stand and speak with Kryle at the designated location. While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way, which will offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Alright. That we shall. Let's go. There's one right here. These conversation bubbles. Discuss the storage facility. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer will be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You've been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Sharlayan the way it is in Eorzea. Ha! We'll see about that. Like, Sharlayans are like super stuck-up people. This place is called the Peristyle, and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation. There are also supplies that further Sharlayan's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. Alright. I guess that's why they're all like wheeling all this stuff down through here. Look at all that. Look at all those big ginormous crystals. That's pretty awesome. Those berries are the most tasty, fresh something. I've never seen them before. They aren't dangerous, are they? Not at all. Very safe. Safe for uplanders to yummies. Gobbies never lie, so let us sell our goody goods. This guy's got like a bunch of marionettes with him. That's interesting. Yeah, might as well start collecting these things. These are gonna probably be important. Greetings, traveler. Welcome to Sharlayan. If it's knowledge you seek, you've come to the right place. I am Wamimi, an occasional lecturer at the Studium. I specialize in natural geography, including the history of the world's topography and climate transitions. Yeah, explain Ishgard then. Or Kurthus, I should say. Explain Kurthus. How it went from a completely green farmland to an ice chunk within like just a couple of years. I like to come here for a bit of fresh air between classes, but for some reason I'm asked for directions rather often, so I decided why not act as a guide. Cool. Alright, let's see what we got here. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget. The great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldassian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. path leading out towards the sea is known as the Thaliok Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar, which stands on its end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Yeah, that's for sure. That's when Thaliok was chosen as our patron deity. It was more of a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. That's a big statue over there. See it over there. That's very interesting. You could like go all the way up to it, but it seems that by the looks of it. That's really, really cool. Alright. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland and encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf. The prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first, and taste a distant second. So, in short, their Archon loaf, which definitely tastes like chalkboard chalk, is put into more perspective than like flavor of food because of its nutrition value. Interesting. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be, as its name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Sharlayan. The one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to a cheap and convenient Raha, but surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Talk to this Lalafell here. You must try the Zarek. It's amazing. Best shared with a loved one, if you ask me. Place is just beautiful. Just gonna have to stop and look around a little bit. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Look at the architecture. The architecture is like the exact same that you see in the Dravanian hinterlands. The abandoned Sharlayan buildings and everything. It's just really, really cool. Okay, let's do it here. Come on. An unusual shape, isn't it? I guess she's talking about the Aetheryte. I assure you, however, it is a perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allagan Aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Yes, indeed. Oh, the thing's huge. Kind of like, look at that thing. That's, that is definitely beautiful. Jeez. Definitely, like, completely, like, just the, Final Fantasy XIV artists and makers of this game are just absolutely unbelievable. Hats off to them. God, this game's beautiful. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Sharlayan. I always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. Interesting. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Please feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. That's really, really cool. It's like a little... There's another bubble. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to be to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetherite Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs to that imposing building at the very top. Alright then. That is where we will go. There's a few Aetherites still that I need to pick up, but there's the box, so yeah, we'll head up there. Someone taking screenshots of himself over there. Yeah, just... Research must needs be conducted efficiently. I surround myself with the sweet scent of flowers to calm myself down. Helps me keep an open mind, you see. Just like the little things that the makers of the game put in here. Like, just amazing. Really emphasize the beauty of this place. Put the map where it belongs. Discuss the water features. These little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of All were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is the Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Sharlayans, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the Great Flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Thaliak's divine ewer. Ewer? Something. Hi, Hi, Pyron. It's great seeing you, though. I hope you are well. Getting well. Are you doing any better? I know you were sick. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city, and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. Bet you they have to replace the stone a lot, though, because like water on stone all the time like causes it to crack and everything. So, but I bet you they have absolutely no. I pronounced it right. You were okay. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Jeez. This is the Nymphaeum, a monument built in tribute to water spirits known as the Nymphi. Seems rather fitting for a city that erected a towering statue of the ruler of River Stalliac, no? Ah, the sun's starting to rise. I'm gonna get that aetherite so I don't forget it, because it's like a little bit out of the way. Let's pick that up. Jeez. Almost looks Amaranthine in a way. The grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Though the stage has since evolved into a council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Rod? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, a crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Yeah, you can see the whole city. Look at that, huh? Amazing. God, I love this game. I just absolutely love this game. Just beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Oh no! Did I just crash? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. I thought I crashed for a second there. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us this was where those who were put ashore with Archon Neonkref built their first homes. Archon, yeah. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Lavier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Ra? Let me think. We walk down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Aetherite Plaza? Correct. After you, Chronosphere. Alright. Well, although we're going to keep our distance, I want this Aetherite. So we're going to go and get it. Some more beautiful fountains and open parklands. Jeez. Why can't Earth look this beautiful? What? At this rate, these flowers will wait before the customer picks them. Oh. All these places. That's really amazing. I wonder if we're gonna get like Sharlayan housing or something, judging by like how all these buildings are here for you to kind of look at different shapes and sizes. They look like all small, mediums, and larges, you can see. It's really awesome. Oh, there's another Aetherite down there, so I'll go and get that. Alright, so we're gonna just... Bloop. There we go. Alright, Prosper Lane. Information's everything. That's why I'm chatting with anyone I could find. What? Did you think I was slacking? Huh. I just thought you were being a Sharlayan. That's another... Right, we cross this bridge here, and as I recall, stick to the path and be careful not to end up back at the Aetherite Plaza. Sharlayan is full of education and research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you a little more about them. Interesting. That looks really, really cool. Yeah. Yep, this game is beautiful. This game is absolutely beautiful. I just can't stress that enough. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it for a while. We're here. Get in the circle. There we go. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you will arrive on the doorstep of the phenomenon, but I think we've explored enough for one day. We could take you there another time. Inside with you, then. I'm back, and I've brought Chronosphere and Graha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It is nice to see you again. And it is a pleasure to finally meet you, Chronosphere. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Oh, well. Okay, Ojika. Allow me to introduce Ojika Tsunjika, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. The champion of Eorzea has featured prominently in Krala and Graha's reports, so for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Sharlayan. Whether make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the Isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is just a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. Now that's an inspirational speech. But first, we must ensure that the Telophoroi fall. Ah, yes! Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we could discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon daze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. For more so than some cheap roadside inn, you might be assured. 'Twas simply that we're often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus became known among the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Very good. Also, I was laughing at Pyron's message. Yeah. It's like, maybe we put some residents here, and the council's like, hell no! And then, like, shove 100 no votes in your face. Like, ugh! If one no wasn't enough, imagine, like, just being thrown a whole bunch of, like, no leaflets. You know? It's like, just a whole whack of no's. They want nothing to do with you. Alright, let's go in. Yeah, 101. That's right, 101 members. There we go. Was it? I can't remember. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Oh, please tell me this is voice acted. Because my voice is getting tired. And I'm only on the second quest.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
Thank you.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we?
Absolutely.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal.
99, huh? Good stuff.
The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan. Not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy.
And she just said it right there.
The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Bunch of stuck.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
Knowing him.
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it.
No.
As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth.
Interesting.
Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown.
The fact that the forum lets them do that is interesting.
The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nadana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavner. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal.
Oh boy.
In response to this threat, the Satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
Good luck with that. Getting close to it messes you
The
up.
artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Oh! Over here!
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, and having you join the group heading to Thavner would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnerian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
It's very true.
Yes, it is quite the quandary.
And you can't split me in half.
Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Okay.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
Good stuff.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Very good.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Good stuff.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Your father's a dick. Like,
Of course! The more the merrier.
like, what more can you,
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner.
like, what more can you grasp from that?
Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Good stuff.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Good stuff. All right then. Oh, which one do we go for first? Do we go to Thavner and deal with the Lunar Primal? Or do we go and hopefully stand in front of the Levelier's father and give him a smack in the face because he's you know what? Yeah, that's the question. You know what? I want to see their father and give him a piece of my mind. So let's do it. Yeah, I want to, like, yeah. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hints of a connection to the final days. Suffice to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Alright. We're on the way. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna give that guy such a smack in the face for treating those twins like that back in, what was it, 5.4? Like, that was totally uncalled for. Like, I would have decked that guy. Like you don't treat the twins that way. I really like the twins. You don't treat them like that. It just doesn't happen around me. My hair is tickling my face again. I'm gonna just get this through. Holy moly. They just can't build small, can they? It reminds me of Alec. Like the Allegans, they just never build small. Alright, I think this is the last one. Unless I'm missing one somewhere. I am missing one somewhere. What am I missing? I didn't get the annex? What? Oh, really? No, I'll be going there again. What other one am I missing? I know I got that one. Okay, so I didn't get that one. I know I got the harbor. Huh. Alright. Jeez. Again. Huge. Big. Not a place for Lalafels. I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay. So I have to just get the one at the annex then. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of the Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I have dispatched Ishtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Elfino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we are looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Yeah, okay. And my friend Mordred decided to make a guest appearance in my live stream. Okay, so we should start reading these sparkly books, I guess. The title on the spine reads The Story of Sharlayan. Well, that sounds like a good place to start. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogaiden? I always have problems speaking that race's name. A Rogaiden man named, or by the name of Nyankrep. Nyankrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. And so it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nyankrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel into pieces. With only moments to spare, Nyankrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safely atop Alabathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nyankrep gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. That's really interesting. So this city was founded just after Mok, Amdapur, and Nim were completely wiped out by the flood. And I guess all those survivors that it talks about were of those kingdoms that were kind of swept out into the sea, and he managed to pick some up. So I have no doubt that a lot of this knowledge, like in these libraries, are tied to those three kingdoms. because I'm pretty sure that Amdapur and Mok were like keepers of like all kinds of different knowledges. So I'm betting like all like the white and black knowledge is probably in those forbidden chambers that only very few are allowed to access. This is just my theory. This is not like anything that is actually like true lore, but I'm just kind of speculating here at this point. Ear? Seriously. Sorry, my ear is really bugging me. My hair is tickling everywhere. Alright. The faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Krepf, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the students of Sharlayan would live by their founder's teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, and the sake of a better, brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and, with knowledge, deliver the world. No doubt they had the ability to defend themselves, though, should war find itself on their doorsteps. I mean, like, let's face it, if they were, like, part of, like, all of the, like, if they were survivors of the Three Kingdoms and everything like that, then no doubt that they have like some really superior magics in order to defend themselves. They would have to, considering like they erected a major barrier that like protects the island or something like that. They like completely ward off the island for the rest of the world. Title on the spine reads Roads of Old, the Colony. We shall read this book. Many years ago, on the banks of Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Indeed. Huh. That is super interesting. Stewards of Wisdom. Did I read this one? No, I did not. Alright, let's take a look. During the chaos of the Sixth... I thought I read this one. Oh, maybe I... Oh, no, okay, I didn't. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Youngpref, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war, pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland. I read this! Unlike any other, a nation born of strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd training. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers and new squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise would be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more the wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of the brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. I read that one. Why did I go all the way backwards? I'm sorry, guys. Didn't mean to do that. Forever 20 Summers. Alright, let's take a look at this one. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed the rest and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all of the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus I do share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Though mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research? Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue? In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works that contain details on the Forum or mention the history of Sharlayan. But, nonetheless, this manual is pretty important. There is a saying: if you don't get it by midnight, you're not going to get it by 12:15. So for any students who are in college or university, go by that saying. I'm telling you, because I seen a lot of college and university students when I went to college, especially, where they were like, just 15 more minutes. I'll get it in another 15 more minutes. And then it's like 3 in the morning and they haven't gotten it since like midnight. So, again, if you don't get it by midnight, you're not going to get it by 12:15. Get some rest, eat something, relax a little bit. Your mind is heavily overburdened, and when you're not getting something, that's the time when you need to take a break. Don't kill yourself. The title in this one reads An Introduction to the Heavens. Ooh, hello. Let's see what this is. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but the vastness beyond, of the sun in the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are a few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alec who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud, and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read most of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Would you like to know more? I love it. This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works that contain details on the forum, or mention the history of Sharlayan. There's only one left. It's gotta be this one then. I read every single freaking book. One book I read twice. Derp. The Voice of a Growing City. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, Okay, I just saw a marionette walk by. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions. But in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum, and as we know it today, conceived and created. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to Rendezvous Point and await your companions. That was pretty interesting. Again, I'm sorry I read that one book twice. That must have been a little bit boring for you guys. Deeply apologize again. That's my third time apologizing. Alright, destination. My ear is itchy again. There we go. Here we go. Please tell me it's voice acted. No, it isn't. Sorry, were you waiting long? Take that off. I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Afano and Kryl should be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no title in the Archon stacks mentioned the final day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they're even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. Why can't you just admit he's a dick? Seriously. We'll mend that in time. What of you, Gra? Have you been able to visit your family? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilzabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Four Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. And then when the Fifth Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Alligan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? Hey, I saw a shooting star! For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for imperial provinces. I didn't catch the last bit. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Ah, Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Alligan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alligan eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as before, I guess. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alec. As the last child born of the Alligan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I've never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thingrid was taken in by the Archon Louis Swab, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans. Yet, regardless of our origins, we're all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders cannot earn something. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens something. It's going so fast. Here, another reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Chronosphere. More company should be arriving any moment now. We've returned with our selections. Though I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed, Mistress Kral has already flicked through enough history book devoted to disasters and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we'll be looking into the research papers of the Umbral Calamities as well as articles written by the prominent Forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Ah, my thanks. Now where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days grew nigh? The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. Just Just give her a bunch of cryptic messages. She can't make up a decision. It was a complete destabilization of creation magics, though. That's fun. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. I butchered that word. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? They say it began with the keening sound of the land itself. Ah, yes, the Amaratines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thus we were thrown into the midst of the madness. Or thrust as we were. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually, it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Numenon's mammoths, and ask after any books which make any mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Hey. Just give her total misinformation. They didn't summon Eidolon because Eidolon was summoned later. So it was definitely Zodiark. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as its heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike power were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed him to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have had Vana and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Eidolon. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? This is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Stola, but 'tis time we begin studying these research papers. Oh my god! More destinations! I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon, but I couldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Uriange learned of the source's reflections from the Great Giron articles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious length of time, I guess. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Foshino with knowledge of the Talafori and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know the final days are truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. So, they're up to something. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty, rather they contain mention of the final days, or no, those books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Ah, I love it. You labor for what feels like an age as they're still as research assistants. I love it. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? And the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a Mehmet at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Whew! That was a lot of reading. I'm just gotta quickly check something. Hold on, I'm just gonna test my chat again for a sec because I had to look at something. Okay. Seems everything's going good still. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. Alright. I'm gonna do a second test. Sorry about that. Sometimes the chat locks up, so like I'm just making sure that the chat's not locking up for this live stream. A seat at the last stand. Ready for a tea break, Chronosphere? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are gonna calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down on the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. You know what? I could definitely go for a cup of coffee right now. And the test appeared on the chat, so good to go. Oh, that's a lot of reading, everybody. I've been doing this for an hour and a half now? Hour and 45 minutes now? And holy moly. I started at 2 o'clock, so my voice is all starting to kind of give out a little bit. Hey, there we go. You have tuned yourself to all the aetheryte shards in Old Sharlayan. There we go. Got them all. I can't believe I forgot the one that was in front of the frickin' annex. Like, of all the ones I forgot to get, it's that one. Totally derped there. Where am I going? Oh. I'm going that way. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Talaferoi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alize is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest. Okay. So it's just telling us the same thing. Oh boy. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? Sorry. If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We're simply wondering if you knew of the Talaferoi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all that we hold dear and... Wait, are you that house lever girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I've heard that you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge in their barbaric whims, and here you are, giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Chronosphere. Whoa! He does not like us at all. That is the most pompous guy that I've seen in the city so far. That is a true Sharlayan for you. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping that you might share your thoughts on the Talaferoi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Lovelier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Oh dear. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent this cafe on occasion, and between lessons in the studium. Seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alfredo had set sail for Eorzea, and you never came back. Lately there's gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Lovelier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being as they are, what brings you to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And what's that you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, as whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. It just finished preparing a few orders, struck up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Sure, leave it to me. Champion of Eorzea, the greatest server in old Sharlayan. That's the spirit. Pay attention. I'll explain to you how to do it. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain it again. Good luck. Ha! Good old server. I am Server Sphere, Solarius. Alright, so this is the group with the big tea set, I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty sure this is the tea set. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you. The Tolafo who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th astral era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk your ear off. This one's the omelet, I think. Ha! Finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Tolaferoi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend here had been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring items that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, so forth. So named for the folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Tolaferoi make good on their audacious threats, then many an uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the arbor, and you will see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Alright, we're in business. That is very interesting. So they sent gleaners like off into all kinds of lands, and they're bringing back all kinds of stuff. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy a drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and the wagging tongues. Sure, let's do it. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan?
Oh yes, I remember.
Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length.
Yeah, because he's a dick.
Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently.
I would have smacked him.
It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
But that's your personality too.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
But that's not who you are. Yeah, what the heck's going on there? All sneaking about with all the crates. Jeez, there's a lot of them.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
Interesting.
Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment.
Yeah.
When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Yep.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum.
Yes, I wonder...
If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
I bet you the Forum knows what's going on. And they're just playing the fool. To save their own asses. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Okay. Labyrinthine descent. We should tell the others what we've learned about the cleaners. Go on and head to the Numenon. I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. So we gotta go all the way over there. We'll take a shortcut. Not the shortest cut, but a shortcut. We'll just go up this way. Why can't Earth be as interesting as this world? Like, I would never be home if Earth was ever this exciting with its history and everything. Earth's history is just garbage compared to this history. And our world can never, like, Earth real life, can never learn magic, can never, like, do the kinds of things you can do in this world, in this game. Just, damn, our world is boring. That's why I love this world so much. That's why I play this game so much. I wonder if it's voice acted. No, it's not. Welcome back, Chronosphere. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We have some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense that Gleaners take their requests directly from the institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from this. As Ashtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Chronosphere at Alizé learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of the particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, they're also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike those apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims that, so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized. I do not think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. Indeed. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and access the situation for ourselves, or assess. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. I understand not everyone is a studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I'd like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be of a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alizé and try not to fall behind. Off we go, then. Are we walking? Oh, we are walking. She walks even slower than I am. Pleasant here amongst the trees, but we really should move along. I wish I could just click her and just click follow. Now we run. Try to keep up. Now you're talking. Keep to the path straight ahead. Cross this bridge. I love looking around. Rostra. Not far now. Oh, we're going this way. Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Jeez, this place is huge. That's really, really cool. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Yes.
Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
That's amazing. They've got like a falsely made sun up there.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
Is it ever?
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
It's all technology.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Jeez.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Certainly looks like it. Now there's all the stuff that they brought in.
Judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
So they have this whole underground facility.
Ugh. Did you call to me just now? No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Could it be she's sensing, like, the cries of the land? Like the Amaratians sensed, but couldn't quite explain? I wonder. She grabbed her head. It's almost as though, like, her ears could feel, like, could hear it. Or maybe it's something she could feel due to her echo. Because Kryland and the Warrior of Light have, like, very, very strong echoes. So, interesting. I really like that, like, fake sun that they've got going up there. That's really, really cool. Sorry, like, my collar area is just really itchy today. You're here to help or give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Exchange with Ernvald taught you about exhausted gleaners. And more of these marionettes just wandering around. Huh? Interesting. Let me think. The Rayan seeds should be item 1058 cumin seeds, 1059 snarbleberry, 1060, 1061. My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all of these at once? Why do all of this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Girabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiva has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Very interesting. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos, you know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion? Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Any luck, Chronoster? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Notes concerning the massive inventory operation that is currently underway. Notes concerning the large quantities of cargo making its way in and out. And of course, the exhausting work and causing accidents, such as Gleaner inadvertently freeing a pack of marmots. So this crammed operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That could explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Oh boy. So, with all of this done, this was only the 5th quest that I finished, and we've been at this for 2 hours and 15 minutes. But I am hungry. I want to get some supper, and I believe this is a good place to leave it here. We will do a lot more later on, probably tomorrow, and I look forward to it. We're gonna definitely get to the bottom of this. I hope you all enjoyed today's little part 1, and I simply enjoyed. Look at that, they're hauling more crystals, like big, huge chunks of them. Like, I'm very curious about that. But anyway, yeah. So for today, we are going to leave it here. And I'm going to let you guys get to doing what you guys would like to do. So for Rosyla Streaming Network, I am Ashley LGR, and I want to say thank you for coming along this journey with me, and I'll see you for part 2.